welcome back to another episode of the Hotspur House. I am Tobey from _Spurs Center, and today I am joined by Charlie from N17 Nation. And we're going to be going over the Crystal Palace, Liverpool, and Leicester games, just kind of going over all of them because we feel like they're kind of all in like the same kind of category. We didn't play well in all of them. And then we'll go over the Stoke game right after that, and then we'll be previewing Wolves after we finish with those things. How you doing, Charles?
Yeah, well, it has been a while since the last pod, and
Yeah.
I'm excited to analyze all the games that we've missed. So
Yeah, I'm quite excited as well.
Yeah.
Let's get started then, shall we? So I guess I just wanted to talk about the Crystal Palace game a little bit. I mean, it just feels like we get in these situations and we get ahead, and we really need to be 2 or 3 goals ahead before we can sit back and just absorb the pressure.
You see, this game, a lot of people lashed out at Jose, saying he told the players to defend after being 1-0 down, parking the bus, blah, blah. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't think that was his intention at all. I think the players were just sluggish and slow and tired the whole game. We
Yeah.
weren't. I mean, in all of our last 3 Premier League games, we're just not winning those 50-50s. We're not.
Mm-hmm.
We're just. But yeah, talking about that game, yeah, I just Jose was screaming on that touchline for most of the second half. So surely he didn't tell those players to just sit back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Everyone blames the manager, but manager's hardly in control of everything. You know, I mean, it,
Mm-hmm.
it all really, at the end of the day, depends on the players. Like, players sometimes don't even listen to the exact tactics of the manager. It all depends on if the player's up for the game and if the player is, 100% concentrating. And that's what we were seeing in the games before the last 3 games. We were concentrating at the maximum. I mean, just look at the
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal game. Our defense was
Yeah.
really composed, and the City game just so composed and compact, and just you could see the difference. But in
Mm-hmm.
the last 3 games, we kind of lost that a bit.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, just talking about the defense, you look at before the Crystal Palace game, we had kept 6 clean sheets out of 7 games. And then since then, we've only kept 1 clean, or sorry, no, since then we haven't kept a single clean sheet in 4 games. So I mean, I'm wondering if the defense is just getting a little tired or sluggish. Because I mean, Eric Dyer, I think he's played in each of the last 4 games. Alderweireld's played in 3 of the last 4. Aurier's played in 3 of the last
No, but
4.
Hear me out here. I think Dyer's been the only decent one out of them. I mean,
Mm,
actually, Toby didn't really put a foot wrong, but still,
yeah.
Dyer's been pretty good. Yeah, obviously, he's the guy that you know gets misplaces a pass once in a while, but
Mm-hmm.
none of his mistakes really cost the goal.
No,
Uh,
until today. I thought he was
uh,
I thought he was a
no, I
little out
thought
of
that was
position.
Doherty's fault. I
It's
mean,
all
to
hard.
be
Oh,
honest.
okay. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, we'll get into
Um,
that.
um, but yeah, it feels like I'm a little concerned that the team is just tired. But I feel like, I mean, with
I
the
mean,
style we've been playing
wait,
of
I
just
know this is
sitting
going off
back.
topic, but
Hmm.
talking about tired, I mean, even today we look tired. I mean, not that tired, but like even
Yeah,
Bale, I mean, he came off at half time. Yes, he scored a nice goal, but he looked pretty sluggish.
yeah,
I mean,
and it
I don't
worries me because I
know.
mean
Maybe our
we've been
training
playing.
is.
Yeah, maybe our trainings are just. I mean, it's just we our style of play. We should have a lot of energy because I mean we've been sitting back in these games, which means like we're not running all over the place. So we should have a decent amount of energy, which is something that the pundits have been talking about. With maybe if they sit back like this, they'll be able to get through the winter period with getting results because they'll still have the energy, whereas other teams are going to have these cramped fixtures, and they'll be a little more tired, and then we'll be able to capitalize on that. But I mean, we seem like we're just as tired as everyone else, which is a bit worrying. But um, I mean, I'll back the manager, I guess.
Well, yeah. Well, what I find very interesting, I have criticized, as I usually do. I criticize a lot of things when we're not doing well.
Hmm.
I've criticized Jose slightly, and
Hmm.
I've been getting slandered a lot for it. But talking about the tiredness and the fitness of the players, I just find it interesting. Like when we were on a great run of form, Jose mentioned in a press conference, I remember, Like he loves seeing his team, like after match day, seeing that his team, his players, ran more than most of the other teams in the division. By
Yeah.
kilometers per hour, and you just and that doesn't seem to be happening. I mean,
Mm-mm.
even players like Lucas, who are pacey, and Deli Ali as well. Deli was great today, but every time they get the ball, their passes are so just. It's like slow motion sometimes. Like the whole Leicester game for me was in slow motion. Like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're in some games we're really quick and it works out. Like in the Man U game, flicks and just
Yeah.
like really
Uh,
quick passing works for us. But like when we're not, I just don't know how to get rid of that. Like we always have a
yeah.
bit of that slow passing in us. I don't know what it
That
is
Leicester
really.
game, it reminded me a lot of the opening day defeat to Everton.
Everton,
It
yeah.
just it after that Everton game, it was just so disappointing to watch, and you just felt like, okay, this is how our season's gonna go. I guess. I mean, we're gonna be pushing, like, maybe we'll barely be able to pull off Champions League, and then after that, we invested a little bit in the transfer window, and we went on a run of I don't remember how many games it was. I think it was 9 or 10 undefeated, and then actually no, it was I think it was 11. But we went on a run, like undefeated wins and wins and wins. And then I don't know what happened, but these past 3 games, we've just been so sluggish and slow, and not at the level you'd expect us to be. And after the Leicester game, Mourinho has the audacity to say that with the scoreline, you'd think the better team won, but they didn't. But
No, but that's just
talking
shit
about, man,
housery at this point.
Leicester was levels above us on that day.
No, oh, this is the thing. This is where Jose has been particularly annoying me. I know he's got an ego and he's known for that, but he's taking it a level too far at this point. I mean, he got absolutely slandered by everyone by saying that the better team lost to Klopp. And I'm sorry,
Okay,
after analysing that game a lot of times, I mean, at
I I
first,
I
after
can see where
losing,
he's
I
coming
was
from on that game, though. I can see where he's coming from
no,
because
I see where he's coming from. And when we lost it first, I was like, oh, we deserve to win that. Bergwijn, on another day, Bergwijn would put that away. We go home with the 3 points. But
mhm,
that isn't an excuse for a top six side in English football to have 25% possession against
yeah.
Liverpool. No,
Well, I mean,
I don't care. No, but I don't actually care. And I get slandered for like this. I'm not criticizing Jose. I'm just criticizing his tactics because the defensive football against Man U, where we won 6-1, where we had 40% or 35% possession, fine. But
mhm,
25 against Liverpool, a team we're challenging to win the title. I mean, we were challenging at least to,
yeah,
to, to win the title. I mean, it's just, I'm sorry, he's taking defensive football too far. I mean, it's not just his fault, it's the players as well. But
mhm,
still, I mean, it's too far. Come on, like I mean, I'm not saying yes, Poch played good football. We didn't win anything with him. I'm not saying that we play as risky football and attacking
yeah,
as Poch, but we need to step it up a bit. I mean, when we do, yes, we played attacking against West Ham and we let 3 goals in, but our defense is still much more solid since that game, and you can see it. And
yeah.
I just think, I mean, come on, it just needs to be like even against Leicester, the possession wasn't that bad, but we were still always sitting back behind the ball.
Mhm.
It's just not.
I mean, if you look at it though, Crystal Palace went into that game against Liverpool and they said, okay, we'll try to have some possession, and then they go and they lose 7-0. So I mean, you can't say like, oh,
No, I'm not
we have to really go
saying
against them.
no, but I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
No,
that
I get what you're saying. I was just
25% possession is
I'm
just
pointing
not
out.
right. It just makes you think what is going on. Um, but no, we were good against them. I mean, it wasn't a bad day at the office, to be honest.
No, I
But
mean,
talk,
looking at the game,
yeah,
like you were saying, like I said, I see where Mourinho's coming from with the comment that the better team lost. Because I mean, you look at their first goal, it's not only was it a massive deflection that Lloris couldn't have gotten to, but it
massive.
was deflected into the top corner, and then it was a deflected. I think it was a deflected shot that ended up at Salah's feet in the first place. So there was no like creativity from that Liverpool midfield that everyone's been talking about.
But then again,
There's
Son's
no
goal could
spark.
have been easily disallowed at the
What do you
same
mean?
time. But I don't think it was offside. But like Mane's goal against Everton was disallowed for the same thing. Son's goal last season against Leicester
Yeah,
disallowed for the same thing. It could have easily been disallowed,
yeah.
even though I
But
don't
then,
think it was.
okay, so then you take both of those goals away, and then on another day, okay, so people have been slandering Bergwijn for saying that he should have he had two one-on-one chances, he should have scored at least one of them.
I mean,
But the
Allison
first
covered the
one,
whole goal. No one's thinking about that.
yeah, okay, that was my other point. But I'll get to that in a second. But the first one, it was barely a one-on-one. If we're being serious, I mean,
He
he
was
was
getting
off to the
pushed off by
side.
Williams.
Yeah, he was putting bodied off by Alexander Arnold, and all he could do was stick a toe at it. So I get that one. I didn't think it was too clear of a chance, and I was actually kind of surprised by the reaction people had to it. Like, oh, he should have scored that. I was actually pretty surprised that he got a shot off at all. And then on the second one, um, watching the replay, Bergwijn couldn't have put it any closer to Allison, um, without Allison saving it. So he went like as close as he could, and then it ended up hitting the post. So maybe he should have taken the shot earlier. Maybe he should have chipped it. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's a toss up. He hits the post. It's unfortunate. And then after that, Kane gets a clear chance, which I guess 9 times out of 10, you'd expect him to put in the back of the net off the corner. And he hits it into the ground and bounces over the goal, of course. And then Bobby Firmino, who I think, I have no idea what the last time he scored a headed goal was, but pops up and beats Eric Dyer, or Dyer, who I don't know if it was a foul, but Dyer slipped in
No,
the
you can't say that was a foul.
he slipped in the build-up, and I think he was marking Firmino. So that's pretty lucky. And then Alderweireld tried to
No,
pick him
but
up,
that
and Firmino beat him to
header
the
from
ball.
Firmino is something you see once in 100 games. Like that's a bullet of a header.
Yeah,
And did you see the
especially from a
thing?
player like Firmino.
Who was the pundit, the former Spurs manager? Did you see
Sherwood?
that?
Oh, the
Yeah.
Sherwood
Oh,
curse.
Sherwood. Sherwood is just Sherwood and Tottenham just don't click
They don't mix
together
well.
these days.
I don't like him.
But
That's
talking
manager.
about Firmino and that. Well, before the game, I said, like a Liverpool fan asked me, what do you think the score's going to be? I said like 3-2 Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
And I said Salah and Firmino would score. But in my head, I was actually thinking 2-1 Liverpool, Salah, Firmino score.
Yeah.
But let me just say, there's something about Liverpool scoring 2 goals and beating us, and it's always Salah, Firmino, or Gini Wijnaldum occasionally. It's always those three.
And it's always
just
at the very
same
end of the
thing.
game.
No, but since I watched us live at Wembley 4-1, which was an amazing game, beating Liverpool 4-1. Since then, that was 2017. Just bear in mind, we haven't even got we got a point that season in the other game, but since that 2-2 draw, nothing. And it's not just been nothing. So we lose 2-1, I think, and then we lose 2-0. Then remember where it's 1-1, and then in the 94th minute or something, Tobey Alderweireld heads it into his own net, and we lose 2-1 again. And then another 2-0 defeat last season, and another 2-1, I think, and obviously the final loss 2-0.
Yeah.
I mean, just all these, I'd rather them beat us 3-1 at this point than this 2 stupid 1. And it's always Firmino never turns up in the other games. I mean, yes, he scored 2 against Crystal Palace, but he's literally
when your
been
team scores 7.
nowhere recently.
Yeah.
And then he just does that. It's just, we're cursed against them right now.
I
just
every
really wanted
team
that sweet revenge.
Yeah, every club has a bogey team. For Chelsea, I feel like it's Crystal Palace. For Arsenal, it's Spurs. But
yeah,
it's just I feel like every club has like that one team they just can't get a result against. And for us, it's Liverpool. For a long time, it was us against Chelsea, but we've seemed to really get into the flow of being able to nick a few points off of them here and there. We beat them at the beginning of the season in the EFL Cup. We drew against them, so we've gotten a couple points. We knocked them out of the cup. Obviously, we had that historic victory over them where we finally beat them at the Bridge. So now we just have to work on really analyzing where their weaknesses are. And something that people haven't been talking about I feel like the fans played a big part in the games against Crystal Palace and the game against Liverpool
Oh yeah, well it was
because
so loud. Like it was
mhm.
actually.
And
uh,
then I
And
feel like
this is one topic I'll go into later, but the fans.
mhm. Against Crystal Palace, I mean, obviously having your fans when you're playing a Big Six team, especially when it's a London rivalry. I think it was Arsene Wenger who said it's the most difficult clubs are the clubs that's the most difficult for to win the league are the London-based clubs because like half the season is a derby game. But when you have teams like that, you're playing against them. Their fans are there. They're cheering them on. It makes a difference in like the mindset of the players, and I feel like that helps them to go and nab a point, nab a deflected like header or whatever it was that led to I think it was Schlupp who scored against us, and then for Liverpool having the fans there to just kind of push you on to really like just throw all your energy at it at the end of the game and win a corner and then score off that said corner. So I feel like it did
Especially
make a
Liverpool
difference.
and especially Liverpool and Palace fans, who are two of the
To
best fans in
yeah,
England. I mean,
hmm
uh, and honestly, those Liverpool fans and Jurgen running to them and doing that thing he always does, it made
yeah.
me sick. But yeah,
And then I mean we also have some great fans. I mean we only had them back for I think
we
two
did.
games. The game against
But yeah,
Arsenal and Antwerp.
talking of what I was going to say about the fans, it's just not fair. I mean,
Yeah,
if you're a City fan or Tottenham fan or anyone that hopes for the challenge for the title, I mean, come on, it's just not fair that Everton and Liverpool get this advantage. Like it's a
yeah.
huge advantage if you think about it. It's only
hmm
2,000 fans, but what? How
But
loud
it's
were
massive.
they against
Yeah.
us? It's what's the point of 18 teams not having fans and then two teams
I think
having like
Southampton
it's
and Brighton have fans as well.
no, they lost them today as well.
They lost them too.
So it's
Oh, okay.
only Liverpool Everton, and
See,
it's
it's
just
like
crazy.
if it's
Like
like half the league has them, I feel like it's
yeah,
a little
fine,
more fair.
then
But then if it's
fine.
only two clubs, they're given like such a clear advantage. Um, but like I was saying, like
But you know what I don't
when we had our
understand?
fans, we won 2-0 twice in a row, and then
Yeah,
you take the fans away, and we go on and we went on a uh
that's actually a
without a
very
win, 3 games
interesting
without a win.
statistic. I didn't think about that one.
hmm
And also, I mean, it's just like I know that there's this new Corona strain in England or whatever,
Yeah,
but what is it really that hard to seat 2,000 fans totally distanced in a 60,000
we're getting into tricky
capacity
territory here.
stadium?
I
I don't
don't want to
understand.
talk about the COVID too much because I feel like
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know a lot about it. I know that there's a
yeah.
new strain that's apparently more deadly. I think is what I heard. So I won't like say like, oh, you really can't get like
No,
2,000
but
pounds in
this
because I
has
don't
really
know
nothing
how
to do with COVID. I'm just saying
well.
you got 60,000 seats and you can't seat 2,000 people. They could all be 5 meter distanced or more.
Mhm. Well, something
But
that I
yeah,
thought was interesting was that they crammed the 2,000 fans all into the south stand, and I didn't understand why they did that. I thought they'd like spread them out
yeah.
all
Why
over the
in the world
stadium,
would they do that? I
but
don't know.
oh well.
It's the Premier League. You never know with them. So let's move on from the past games and move on to
Yeah.
Stoke and the Wolves preview.
hmm Stoke, Gareth Bale got a header. I just loved
And what
watching
a
him
header
score.
that was.
That it was. I mean, it looks like it was like, oh, he just kind of nodded it on, but that's a tricky. Like, I think he like the way he flicked
No,
it
but
was
he
really
wasn't
impressive
even
to me.
looking at the goal at all. He just
Yeah,
stood there and like
it was
perfectly.
incredible.
Like
It's
um
watching him score for
yeah.
Spurs just gives me the best feeling.
Yeah, I mean there's just something about it, the nostalgia that I mean he's born to play for Spurs. I mean
He was born to play for Spurs. He was
and
born
also
to play for Spurs.
we're not crediting Winks' cross enough either. I mean
I was just gonna say that
Wink
too. Harry Winks. I
Winks
think he
was
has
actually
4.
for me the most impressive player today, maybe,
I was just about
along
to say that
with
as well.
Deli Ali in the first half.
He was given man of the match by FotMob, which is a
Oh,
football
interesting.
app. So, but Garrett, let's say Harry Winks has 4 goals and assists in his last 7 games for club and country. So maybe he's
Yeah, I
starting to
know
turn it
he got
around.
2 assists for England, and I'm
Uh huh.
guessing 2 fast and 1 assist, 1 goal.
Yeah, the wonder
So
goal against
yeah,
Ludogorets, I think. Um, but I feel like I thought he was really impressive today. I like
no,
Harry
but
Winks. It's he created the most chances in the match,
well,
and he
he
was the
whipped
most
the ball
accurate
in
passer.
quite a lot, and usually they
Uh huh.
were pretty successful. Maybe we should, make him do that more. But
Maybe do that.
Talking about Harry Winks, I don't think he's credited enough. A lot of people say he's bang average. He's
Yeah,
Davies, as you would
he's the
say.
Davis of midfield.
Talking about Davies, we'll move on to him later.
Yeah.
So Winks, you know, I actually think like in the 2017-18 season under Poch, he was actually like he did a lot of diagonal passes, but that was really his breakout season. He created a lot of chances. He was taking more risks, and I think when he
Uh-huh.
does take risks, it's usually successful. And also,
Uh-huh.
like the man's actually pretty good when he actually gets on the ball.
Yeah.
So yeah, and also what I was really wanted to say was, on in the international break, he said like, they asked Jose, I think, or they asked Winks like Jose said that Winks is not like he's not a starter, and Winks knows that.
Yeah.
And Winks is really now trying to get into that starting 11. I don't think he
Hmm.
will, but you never know. Sissoko's been really on and off lately with his
Yeah.
positioning, so he could get a chance.
I mean, the game that I thought Winks was the best in this season was the game against Newcastle. Actually, I thought him and Højbjerg were
Interesting.
just
Yeah, he did
really
do quite
impressive. Our finishing wasn't as clinical as it needed to be that day, but that was not his fault. Um,
unfortunate day.
yeah, unfortunate day. But yeah, I was impressed with Winks today. I think it's I'm trying to think of a way where he ends up in the team, and I think it's gonna have to be an injury to either Lo Celso or Dombele. Um, but he's a talented player. He's he is pretty average, but if he can keep
He's
up the
not a.
performances like he
He's
played
never going to
today,
be a world class player,
yeah,
but he's there. I see him as a kind of Scott Parker, if you know what I mean.
yeah,
As a
hmm
kind of rotational, consistent centre mid who can do the job both in defence and attack on his day.
yeah.
And
I mean, and
yeah,
if he wants to
I
get back
see.
into that starting 11, there's the evidence that you can do it. I mean, Lo Celso last season, Mourinho didn't think he was at the level of the Premier League, and he got back into the team and he was starting consistently. Dombele, all of last season, Mourinho kind of kept him out of the team. This season, he works his way back in. So the evidence is there that you can work your way into the team. Last season, Steven Bergwijn, another example, wasn't in the starting lineup this season. He went on
You
a
could,
run at like
yeah.
7 or 8 games.
That, that's
So
that's a that's a great argument. And talking about winning Jose's trust back.
mhm.
Um,
Toby Alderweireld, that's another
talking about
example.
winning. So his trust is obviously a thing that many players have struggled with, both at Real Madrid and
Uh-huh.
Pogba at Man U, most notably. But
Mhm.
I've mentioned this a lot of times actually in this podcast. Talking about Dele Alli. I mean, what
Yeah,
first half he had. I mean, second
I thought
half,
he was pretty. I thought he
it's
was
like
insane.
no, but in the second half, something happened to him. I don't know. He was
Yeah.
much slower, but in the first half, I mean, it's he got fouled so much, just
Hmm.
shows how skillful he really is. And
The double nutmeg.
he's
Oh.
a great player. He's still a great player, and
Hmm.
hopefully, I actually still hope that he won't leave.
Yeah.
If he can start against Wolves and bag a header in or something, you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
But talking about trust, you
I
see,
feel like.
he's not the kind of player. I've always seen it like this. He's not the kind of player that will fight his way back in the team like Lo Celso
Yeah.
and Ndombele would. He's the
We've
kind of
talked about that.
guy that yeah, he's the kind of guy that he wants a hug from Jose, and
Hmm.
yeah,
He's
he's
not.
just
That's not the tough love
he's
kind
not
of
the
guy.
fighting mentality.
No, because I mean, I didn't hear this, but I saw someone else post about it after the Stoke scored their goal. Mourinho yelled to Dele, "Your flick cost us that goal." So apparently, Dele lost the ball, trying to pull off some sort of flick. They win the ball back and
Oh
they move
wow,
up the field and they score. But
that doesn't sound good.
no, it doesn't. So uh, before that, I was thinking maybe since Dombele and Lo Celso weren't part of the squad today, I was thinking maybe they're both out with like a knock. Maybe Mourinho will opt to just kind of save them and start maybe Dele against Wolves. But after hearing that, I'm thinking maybe not. Um, but I mean, he had a few chances where he really could have scored. And
Oh
to be
man, you
fair,
almost scored, by the way.
oof, He had the one on his left foot, which I was thinking like if that was just like if you could have mirrored the field and he was on his right, I feel like he would have just kind of dinked it right over the goalie.
What a pass that was by Kane as well.
Yeah,
He had a few chances. He definitely should have scored. But then again, that shot that was amazing. That was really well saved, I'd say. I mean,
yeah.
that was
That
some
keeper, he made a few good
that
saves.
was some 17-8. That was some 17-18 Delhi there. Like I haven't seen him
Hmm.
shoot like that in a while. I know that sounds weird. It was just a normal shot, but it
Yeah,
just there was something about it. Like he scored a lot of
yeah. I know
goals
what
with
you mean.
those kinds of shots.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, let's go off Deli Alley. Um, so Harry
Oh,
Kane obviously bagged the goal.
hmm.
Um,
He scored, I think, 14
he
goals
always
in
makes
all
it look
competitions this
easy.
season.
What?
I said I think he scored 14 goals this season in all competitions.
16, I think. 16.
16? Oh,
I don't
he's
know.
such a impressive professional. Like just the
I'm
way
not
he.
saying, yeah, I'm not saying anything here, but if you compare his stats this season to Messi's, and if you're just a neutral fan that, I mean, if you're just a fan that has just joined football, you'd think he's quite far ahead of Messi. I'm not saying
Yeah.
anything here. Messi's obviously the best of the best, but like
Mhm.
honestly, Kane is Ballon d'Or material the way he's
If
playing.
he can keep it up, he is for sure Ballon d'Or material for this
I
season.
mean, if we win the Europa, I mean, if we win the Prem, then surely he has to nod that top
Oh yeah.
three in the Ballon d'Or list. He's always been an underrated player, and this is what I'm talking about. The press is such a joke. People are already
Hmm.
slandering him and saying, uh, people are already saying after the Leicester game, Vardy's better than Kane.
Oh my
I mean, I just
goodness.
can't take it. Vardy
Yeah.
scored the average penalty. I can't take it, honestly.
Hmm. And then
Um,
everyone coming after him for doing the like the backing up into players. Like I understand.
yeah.
Like I am. I don't know if I feel like maybe it should be a foul, but they're acting like Kane's the only one who does it. Someone in the game today on Stoke, they did it to Harry Kane, and Harry Kane went over, but then he got up. Like
Yeah, I saw that. Harry
he didn't
Kane
really call for
literally
a foul after that.
got bundled
Yeah,
over. But
but I mean
also talking about this,
every game.
people are saying Kane is gonna break somebody's neck. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, that's crap. It,
Hmm.
every other successful striker does it, really. I mean,
Yeah.
Lewandowski, I'm pretty sure
Uh,
does it. A lot of
someone
players do it.
who's Wolf striker? Not Jimenez, the one who stepped in, the young Portuguese.
Fabio Silva.
Yeah, he did it to someone in a Wolves game against Burnley. So it's like I was watching that game because I was hoping Burnley was going to win to
But
close the
there's
gap
just
on Arsenal,
something
and they didn't.
about
But
people targeting Kane, I
yeah,
mean, there's just
it's
I mean, actually, to be honest, there's something about people just targeting anything involved with Spurs. And
yeah.
that's all that I'm going to say.
I feel like Spurs were kind of the darlings of English media when we were under Pochettino, with like the unproven manager playing this expansive, exciting football, and then we didn't win anything, and we had to let Pochettino go because we were losing,
People are
and
just
then
not accepting that we're now a big club, bigger than Arsenal,
uh yeah.
potentially bigger than, I mean, yeah, well, people just can't accept it. People can't accept that we're challenging. We're not
Hmm.
challenging. I mean, they can't accept that we're challenging big boys. They
Yeah.
just can't. And then when the media like Sky Sports says, is Spurs challenging this for the title? Like you see, Jose and the players are in every interview after we win a game, they say, oh my God, Pickford, oh my, what is he doing? He almost got a
Oh
goal in.
boy.
So talking about so what I was saying, Jose and the players after winning a game in an interview, they always say, we're not, challenging for the title. They don't want to put pressure on themselves. They just go,
Yeah.
we go every game after game and try to win every game. And
And that's
that's
the
for
same
me
thing
the
we said.
reality. Because
That's the
every
same thing that
time
happened in
someone puts pressure on us to win
mhm.
the trophy, like even on the Poch, we
Yeah, so I was about to
always
say.
give it away. We always give it
Mhm. When we were challenging Leicester and we were challenging Chelsea, we said the same thing. We're just going into it every game. We're going in it to win. And
I don't want to say this, but there is this Spursy DNA in us.
yeah,
It's in the blood, and we need to
it's in
get
the
rid of
blood.
it.
It's I mean, we need a result this weekend against Wolves.
My
Um,
dad just said we need to be drawn against Brentford.
I mean, that would be nice. Not gonna lie. And then we could just get into the final and play probably Man City. But
Yeah, I'm worried about that. They've won it 3 times, but I'm annoyed. They don't need the trophy. This trophy means nothing to them, and they're
yeah.
still probably gonna, if we get to the final and play them, they're still probably gonna snatch it from us. But
Well, I mean,
hopefully
we
Jose
beat
will
Man
pull a
City 2-0,
masterclass
so
against Pep. Yeah, yeah, but Man City have totally changed since then. They've changed
have
their
they?
tactics. They're more ruthless. I mean, I don't know. People are saying that. I don't know. They don't seem to be complicating their attacks as they used to. But yeah,
Hold on.
um,
What was the last Man City game? I was watching them play, and they had the most, like, they overcomplicated it so much. It was hilarious. I think it might have been,
really?
it was the game against Southampton. They
I mean, they
countered,
just thrashed Arsenal, but yeah.
yeah, yeah, it was the game against Southampton, though. They were going down, they played it wide, and then they crossed it in, and then they cut it back, and then they crossed it again, and then it was an open goal, and then whoever it was cut it back
Hopefully they
again.
do that against us again.
If we
I wouldn't mind that.
get them in the Carabao Cup
Yeah.
final.
I mean, we're not in the final yet. We can still play.
No, yeah.
Hopefully we'll get Brentford, but Man U's all over Everton right now. So
Yeah.
looks like we're
And
gonna play
if we
either
draw
of the
Man U,
Manchester sides pretty soon.
I'm scared to play against Manchester United because I know that they're gonna come against us with such a point to prove, like um,
Oh
because we
yeah, I
beat them
think
six
if
one,
we play
obviously.
Man U, I have a bad feeling. And Fernandez almost scored. Ooh, what is Pickford doing? Oh,
Um,
it's not Olsen. It's Olsen, not Pickford. But
oh,
yeah, I think if we play Everton, we'll beat them this time. They're not looking
mhm.
as sharp as they were at the start of the
No,
season.
I mean, remember when we were talking about them challenging for the title, and now they're in
Yeah,
what are
I
they? They're
mean
like third.
they're still ahead of us, so I'm not going to say something.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, man, you are looking very. I mean, this is what we need. This is what Jose had in the first few games in the season after, like when we were in great form. Watching
Mhm.
these Man U players, they keep running at the Everton defenders. They're applying so much pressure, and they're so energetic. And this is what we've been missing in the last 3 games. And just a
Yeah.
bit more energy, and that would be amazing. And talking about
Mhm.
energy, Sissoko obviously
Energy,
known for his power and energy. Oh yeah, and the energy guy, the Jose Trofinho or whatever.
energy,
Um,
Mourinho. Hello,
Trophy Mourinho. But
hello.
talking about energy, um,
Sissoko.
yeah, Lamella.
Oh,
Lamella
Lamella.
is the definition of energy.
We've missed
Um,
Lamella. I'm so glad he's back.
yeah, straight away when he came on, unlimited ball rolls, shithousery, annoying the opposition.
Hmm.
Argentine maestro. But also, what I was actually trying to say about energy is that, I mean, this has nothing to do with the Stoke game, but I've been watching French league a bit, and people are
Mm.
saying, and I also rate him. I think Renato Sanchez from Lille is the most perfect Jose player I've ever seen in
That's
my life. And the
I'm.
per and
I'd
the
be nervous
per
about signing him though, because
yeah, I know he can
he
flop.
flopped at
I know
Swansea.
he can flop. But this is different times now. He's actually like, he's been performing in the Champions League as well. And he's
Hmm.
just such a perfect Sissoko backup. Yes, there's always a thought that he could flop like Ndombele did in his first season.
Or he
But
could flop
at the
like he
same
did
time,
again at when he was loaned at Swansea.
yeah, well, he was inexperienced. I think
Yeah, that's true.
he's not going to pass it into the wall again. I think. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out. I've been very
Uh-huh.
impressed by him.
Yeah. Uh, Something we haven't talked about yet is the Ben Davis wonder goal. You'll
Yeah,
never see anything like it ever again.
I mean, I think I've seen a lot of things like it. I wouldn't go that far, but when there's something about Ben Davies just perfectly striking a ball with his left foot. I mean, it's just,
And yeah, he just every
I
once in a
mean,
while he'll take a just pop
I mean,
from like 30 yards out
last
against
season
Arsenal.
against Arsenal, I mean, that could have been the goal of the century. I mean, he just
Uh-huh.
absolutely pummeled it. When he hits
Could
it
have won the
well,
Puskas.
this man can score. Let's
Hmm.
just say that. And he
Yeah.
saved us today, to be honest, because Stoke's goal. Oh, one player we also haven't talked about, Matt Doherty. Um, so, what do you think to Matt Doherty then?
I thought he was fine today. I don't know what you're talking about with like his goal. I thought he was just average today. I thought him and Ben Davis switched roles. I thought Davis
No,
was pretty good, and I
he
thought
was
Doherty was
he
pretty
was
average.
solid. He
He
was
was solid. Yeah.
average.
I don't think
But
he was caught having to mark 2 players on their goal because Sanchez. So
I mean, that was
I don't know what
Sanchez.
happened to
Yeah, that
Dyer.
was Sanchez.
I don't know where Dyer and Davis were, but on their goal, they
I
had. I think they
actually
had
don't
3
really
people
think there's
attacking.
anyone to blame. It was just kind of a
Yeah,
shock. It was Stoke's real first attack, to be honest.
yeah. I
But
think the issue
still,
was just that
when Sanchez is on the pitch, we never seem to keep a clean sheet. I mean, why isn't Tanganga playing? Is he
he's
still
injured.
injured
Yeah, yeah.
again?
He
Oh
hurt
yeah.
his shoulder in that Antwerp game.
The-
But
I swear, I swear, since the end of since the end of quarantine and when football restarted in like March, like there were these memes. No, I mean it ended in March. It restarted in June, but there was these memes that he injured his back because he was carrying the whole defense
yeah,
that season. But now, like, it seems to be a big problem. His shoulder is back. I don't know what's wrong with his
the shoulder injury
whole
was just
back area.
he fell on it weird. I was talking to my dad about it actually, and he said that something. My dad used to play ice hockey, and he said he fell in like a similar way. And he played the rest of the game, and then he found out there was something wrong with it later. And that's basically what happened with Tanganga. He fell on it weird. He played the rest of the game, and then found out there was something wrong with it later. So I'm hoping he'll be back
Reminds me a
soon.
bit of Son playing the whole game after breaking his hand.
Breaking his arm,
Still
yeah,
don't understand how that happened.
that was
But
funny.
also talking about Son, do you agree with Jose risking Son of all the people to come on against Stoke? I mean, I'd put Jack Clark
I
on.
didn't.
I
Okay,
know.
actually, well, Clark wasn't on the bench, but I
Oh,
was
was he
surprised that
not?
they took Bale off, but then I was excited that they took Bale off because I'm thinking either he has a knock, which would
Oh
be
wait, I
unfortunate,
see what I see what you're saying here.
or
Bale against
they're
Wolves.
saving him to play on the weekend, which would just be so exciting. Obviously,
Yeah.
but it's like I said, on the
But
one hand,
knowing Jose, it's probably just because he's tired.
yeah, it's probably a
Um,
knock. I heard that he was limping before halftime, so hopefully it's just a knock and he'll be back on the bench this weekend. Uh,
yeah.
but
It's
yeah,
so weird that we have Bale. Like a year ago, you think, oh, we signed Bale, and you think like, oh, he's fit to be on the bench again, and you're like,
yeah.
what? but
Um,
but I actually, if Bergwijn does play against Wolves, I have a feeling. I have a feeling that he'll finally break his curse and he'll put that ball into the net.
yeah, I
I need
really want
him to. I
Bergwijn.
need him to. I
I thought
really
I
want.
was hoping Bergwijn would score. I mean, would play today, and then I was hoping he would score today. But he was rested, which would
You know
make me
what?
think he's gonna play this weekend.
Also, I get slandered for saying this, but I don't see much in Lucas anymore. I mean, yes,
Yeah.
he has that occasional run where he runs past 5 players and then is through on goal, but then slips or something. He
Yeah.
keeps falling down. I know he's a slow guy, and I know that's kind of his role to win free kicks, but I don't know. When he's in front of goal, he always seems to not put it in the net. He's always slipping. He's always
Hmm.
sliding, and he's just not consistent. Some games he's hardly noticeable at all. Some
Hmm.
games he's pretty good, but I
We've
think
talked about
that night at Amsterdam is really keeping him at the club right now. To be
yeah.
honest.
We've talked about like we have a lot of wingers on the club's payroll right now, and we're looking. I think we're kind of looking to sign another one. It's like to sign another goal scorer. Um,
Yeah,
and so to
and
sign
it's
another one,
Leon
we'd have to
Bailey
lose one.
time. Yes, you heard that.
Um,
It's Leon Bailey.
yeah. But to sign someone like Leon Bailey, you'd have to get rid of someone. And for me, we'd have to get rid of Lucas Moura.
Yeah,
Because like Eric Lamela, he maybe doesn't have the goal involvements, but I mean even today, he was subbed on in the like 66th minute, I
Lamella
think.
just
Let's look.
fits our
He
system
was
so
he
perfectly.
was subbed on in the 66th minute, and after he was subbed on, we scored twice. So it's just he gets in those areas and he causes those problems for the other team. So I am personally a big fan of Lamela. Like I'd like to see him start once he's back in fitness, back to his previous fitness. Um, but
I think he'll start against Wolves.
uh, I think he would, but I'm not sure if his injury is completely gone yet. Like
Yeah,
if he's like
depends.
ready to play the full 90. But I
Yeah.
actually have a new section for us to do, where we're going to be responding to some comments from some of our maybe not
Interesting.
listeners
Yeah.
yet, but some of our followers on Instagram. So from Spurs World without the O, it wasn't pretty, but we got the job done.
I
What do
mean,
you think about
that's the definition of Jose ball, isn't it? Um, I mean, it's the definition of our play this season. Um, but yeah, I mean, it had to be done. We let that goal in, and we could not let Stoke get another chance because any goal, even if it's an average side, I mean, it's all about the confidence on that pitch. Once you get on
Yeah.
that pitch, it's all about how you perform the next 90 minutes, and
Hmm.
it's all about the nerves and which team is stronger mentally for me. It's not
Yeah.
always about the
And I mean,
quality.
to be fair, I mean, there were some pretty parts. I mean, Ben Davis's goal, Bale's
No, I'm sorry.
opener,
No,
and
but
we
Pete,
controlled
yeah,
some of the
well,
game.
I wouldn't quite agree with that statement because people will say, "Oh, Spurs let a goal into Stoke. It couldn't have been an easy game." That was the only time Stoke even got into a half,
Yeah.
literally.
I
So
mean, this
it's
is
not
probably
like
the
they
first time
caused
this
us any
season we've had more
problems.
than 50% ball possession. So
And
66%.
also what I want to say, Oakley Booth, a
I missed
former
him. I've
Spurs
missed him.
youth talent, and he gets an assist. I mean, I've always rated him. I don't
Uh,
understand why we let him go, but yeah.
and then earlier this season, Kyle Walker-Peters, former Spurs player, got an assist against us when he played in Danny Ings and our 5-2 win
Ironic,
over
isn't it?
Southampton. But yeah.
Well, to be honest, if you ask me, I'm gonna get more slander for this. I know it's early days for Doherty, but even if he does improve, there's just no signs of what he did at Wolves because I understand
Hmm.
that under Jose, it's totally different for him. He's not playing a
Yeah.
attacking wing back. But even when he's playing a bit higher, he never whips the ball in like he did for Wolves. He never goes for
Yeah.
shots like he did at Wolves. Like, I don't know what's going on. It's like he's a totally different player. Yes,
I
he's
think he's,
consistent,
I don't know.
but
Yeah.
I'd
And
still swap him out for Kyle Walker Peters. I'm sorry, because
yeah.
Peters
I
is
mean, we do have
quick.
how long is the contract we have him on? I think we have him for like 4 years, 5 years. Uh, so
I'm
he'll be
not
here for
saying
the
that
next
he
couple of
won't
seasons.
become great, but he
But
needs
right
to
now,
soon.
you take Kyle Walker-Peters over him,
I
which I
would.
think is fair. But
Oh
next
man,
one,
you were so close. Yeah.
next one from Spurs underscore informations. Brilliant performance. Bale and Dele actually look sharp today. In the first half,
Well,
Dele
I
looked
actually
sharp.
agree. I actually don't agree with a single word he said there. Certainly not a brilliant performance. Decent. I mean, it got the job done, and it
Yeah.
was consistent. No one was really bad on that pitch for us today. Also, Bale was not sharp. He had a
Yeah.
great header, except for that he was still sluggish, and he lost the ball quite a lot. Not taking away from his beautiful header. And Delhi, he was sharp in the first half, and in the second, he was off. So, yeah, I don't agree with that. What about you?
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a brilliant performance. I mean, it wasn't a like a 3-0 win over Dortmund or anything. So for me, or it wasn't a 2-0 win over Arsenal or a 2-0 win over City.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'd say
Talking
it
about
was
a
a
2-0
good
win over
performance.
Arsenal, this is out of context, but if you saw Spurs
Oh,
post
the you laugh too much challenge
yesterday,
with Gareth Bale. He says
yeah, I mean,
that was super
that's some
funny.
quality from Gareth Bale. You'll have to see
Yeah.
it.
He's been throwing around some having some banner moments this season. I mean, when they were playing the game and then Son dropped the ball and he called Son Carius.
I mean, he's not.
um,
He's firing at all cylinders, and hopefully he
yeah,
will be on the pitch as well.
yeah.
But yeah,
Next one we have from Joshua Tay 11. Eric Lamelo was the game changer. I mean, we already talked about this a little bit. We
yeah. I
agree.
mean, he was. He was.
He came on. He changed the game. We scored two. We win the game. I mean, like we said. I mean, I love Eric Lamelo. I'm really happy that he's back from his injury. I'm hoping he'll be playing some more games
I
before he
can't
gets injured
believe that he was on
inevitably.
the eve of leaving us in the
Yeah.
summer.
Uh-huh. Uh Now this next comment is interesting. Mac underscore 9.9.9. Ref was against us. I mean, other than the
I
offside call and Son's
mean,
goal.
but that wasn't the ref. That was the lineman. I mean, the refs. There's no VAR. The ref is going to listen to the linesman. As clearly as
Yeah.
that.
I mean,
And as
there was a
usual,
few
English
chances.
linesman, absolute quality, isn't it? Why
Uh,
can't we just have the Italian refs?
I mean, there
But
was
yeah,
a point. There was a couple points where I was thinking, oh, maybe that like Lucas Moura at the I think it was like the beginning of ish of the game when he kind of charged into the box, and I thought it looked like he got pushed over and it should have been a penalty, but
I
that
don't think
there
that was.
may
It
be a
would
fair
have
bit
been
of
a bit
bias
soft.
in that as a Spurs fan, but uh, Next one, and I'm
How
not
can we
entirely sure how to
spell?
pronounce this, but I'm gonna go with it's I'm just gonna spell it out. GHATTAS_dot_. Dele performing when under pressure. I believe we could go on and win this cup. And yeah, I don't see why we couldn't win the cup.
Well,
I mean,
I'd love to see that.
I
I
think
mean,
we've
again, we're talking about this like it's some prestigious trophy. I mean, it's called the Carabao Cup. It used to be called the Carling Cup and the Capital One
EFL
Cup, but
Cup. Yeah,
it's nothing. It's nothing amazing, but
yeah,
it's a trophy that isn't
uh-huh.
the Audi Cup. It's a trophy
Yeah,
that's recognizable, and yeah, I'd take it any day.
and I mean the only
Obviously, I
teams left
wouldn't
in it.
just take that. I want the Europa as well, but
Yeah,
yeah.
but I mean the only teams left in it are Brentford, who is in the championship. So realistically, we should be able to beat them easily. Man City, who
No,
we've already
no, no,
beaten this
no, don't
season.
say that. They absolutely outclassed Newcastle. They played brilliant
Okay,
attacking football. They
we're at
sold
a
their
different
two
level than
best players
Newcastle
to the
though.
Prem, but still, they're
Yeah,
good.
and then Everton and Man U. If Man U wins, then we've beaten them, and if Everton wins, we have a point to prove against them.
Well, Everton's
So
getting outclassed, so
yeah, so I mean, yeah, realistically, we should be able to win the cup. Um, Next comment, JA.Davis_. Can Bale only score headers, and what a strike from Ben Davis.
I mean, Bale,
I mean, Bale. To
I
be fair,
think
he did
Bale's
score.
heading abilities has always been underrated. I watched
Yeah,
this video like 1 or 2 months ago, from this. Oh, nothing. From this Real Madrid YouTube channel, and it was a great video showing all his goals for Real Madrid
uh-huh.
like in line, like one after each other.
Like one,
And
two,
there was
three.
this run where he got like 15 headed goals in a row. Like,
Yeah,
he just kept scoring headed goals, like from corners, from crosses. I think his heading ability is very underrated. I mean, if you look at the stats, he scored a hell of a lot of headers. Less for Tottenham than for Real Madrid, but still, I mean, the guy can certainly head the ball.
yeah.
So yeah, he's
I mean,
trustable in the box.
to be fair though, he did score a penalty with his left foot, so he doesn't just score goals with his headers.
Yeah, yeah.
um, but yeah, so that's those are all the comments. Or I didn't go through like replies, but those were all the main comments. Um, but yeah, I mean, I thought ultimately it was a good day. It was a win. It was a pretty comfortable win. Only one nervy moment. Um,
And
so yeah,
now we go on to Wolves.
and now we go on to
Hopefully,
Wolves.
we'll win it.
Oh, actually, hold
Come
on.
on, you
Sorry,
Spurs.
come back to the Stoke game. I want to introduce a new kind of a new way to like kind of review the game. So we're you're giving like 3 stars, 2 stars, and 1 star, and you give 3 stars to the player who you thought was the best today, like your man of the match. 2 stars to the second best player, and then 1 star to the third best player.
Interesting.
I'll go first since I've been thinking about this, and then I'll let you go second. So for me, the 3 stars would have to go to Winks. I thought he was just our best player overall. He's keeping possession, moving the ball around. He got an assist as well. 2 stars, I'd give to Lamella. I think he changed the game when he came on. And then I'll give the 1 star to Ben Davis. I thought he was our best defender today. He grabbed the goal, and it's probably the only opportunity this season I'll be able to give a star to Ben Davis. So
My three. So number three, with 3 stars, it has to be Winks. 2 stars, Harry Kane. No one's crediting how good he was. I mean,
yeah,
he didn't get a hold of the ball too much, but that ball to Delhi could have been an easily beautiful assist. He technically also got assist for Son, and he scored. So yeah, I give him 2 stars. And
mm-hmm.
then 1 star, it's between Delhi and Coco, but it has to be Lamella. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dele's a fair shot too to get a star or two in there. But I mean, I felt like his performance in the second half wasn't nearly as good as his performance in the first half.
No, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah. But yeah, now we can move on to our game against Wolves this weekend. What are you looking for? In terms of, I don't know, starting lineup, play style, what the result's going to be.
I'm going to go a bit of a tactical analysis before I go into the lineup. So, um, I think obviously stuff needs to change from the Leicester game. I think we'll go for more energetic approach. At least that's what I'm hoping for, and the players are going to be more up for it. Definitely. Really hope it's away, right? Or is it home?
Yeah, it's away. I just saw that.
Well, sadly, we don't have Super Yan to score a 90th minute header this time,
Hmm.
but hopefully someone else will replace him. And I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, Wolves don't have Jimenez because of that very unfortunate incident.
Huh.
Hopefully, he'll be back soon, but he always creates huge problems for us. Adama Traore hasn't been starting recently for them, and when he
Which is
starts
good.
against us, he always terrorizes us.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't start, that's a big bonus. But then again, him coming off the bench is very scary. Um, and I think Pedro Neto will be their biggest threat. A lot Pedence as well. Very quick, skillful, and phenomenal wingers. To be honest, Pedence is a very
Hmm.
good player. He caused us problems when he was at Olympiacos as well. And now
Hmm.
defensively, they've been pretty poor this season. They're very on and off. They're not.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're top 10. I think
They're
they're
11th
around
actually.
12th.
They're
Yeah,
11th. Yeah.
11th. So they've been beating teams like Arsenal, but then struggle against Burnley. And
Hmm.
I think we've got an advantage here. I think playing defensively could actually benefit because
Hmm.
look, they beat Arsenal, and Arsenal are kind of team that have been losing, but they have. It's not like they've been playing defensive football. They've been crossing the
Yeah.
ball in a lot and attacking, but just can't get the ball into the goal.
And they have like
And
a 67% chance of
Burnley
winning
are
every
known,
week.
yeah, and Burnley are obviously known for defending, and they
Hmm.
got the 3 points. So maybe a more defensive approach would actually work as long as
Hmm.
our counters actually work this time, and our
Yeah.
players like Son, Kane, and Bergwijn, along with I don't know if Lo Celso and Dombele will be fit, but anyone that's
Hmm.
playing a more advanced role in midfield are fit for it and
We could see
run like.
depending on how Lamella, sorry, depending on how Lamella, his fitness is, we could maybe see him in that attacking role. Um,
Yeah, I'd love to see it,
because
to be honest.
he's played there before. And I'm a fan of him playing there. I think he has like more space that way. I think it opens up for him. Uh, but
Yeah.
him as a sub is just as good. Sorry, you can keep going.
So yeah, all I'm saying that is, I think we'll be more energetic. Energetic. Hopefully, the players are more up for it this time. They've realised their
Yeah.
mistakes and they're not going to be as sluggish. They have a few days rest as well, so hopefully
Hmm.
they can soak in their um, they can soak in their 100,000 uh, pound jacuzzis and in their amazing houses. In like every
Hmm.
player has their own house in that training ground. It's amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
not a house, but like this kind of
Little
I don't know
apartment
how to
room.
explain.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's
Um,
luxury, obviously. But yeah,
and this is a
so
big weekend. So
yeah, it's a huge
Leicester's
weekend.
playing
We
Man
cannot
United.
afford to lose. I'm telling you
No,
this right now.
no, we can't afford to lose or draw. But Leicester is playing
No,
Man United, so at least one of them's going to drop points, meaning we can pass. We should be able to.
pass one of
Hold
them.
on, sorry. Yeah, so we should be able to. If we win our game, we will definitely rise above one of them, and then Arsenal is playing Chelsea, so Chelsea could
Oh
drop
yeah,
points there,
Arsenal,
or
come on, do the business, Arsenal.
um, or even if they just got a draw, I think that would be preferable because then
Yeah.
Arsenal don't pick up too many points and they're still kind of near the bottom. And then if we win, we go
Also,
ahead of
just a bit
Chelsea.
of an update. Everton's picking up pace now against Man U. It's getting close. It's still
Oh, really?
0-0 though, 35 minutes.
Mhm.
So
But
yeah, keep going.
and then Everton is playing Sheffield away, which I mean Sheffield hasn't been doing well at all this
Well,
season, but they
Sheffield
drew
has to
their
get a. No, but this is how I'm thinking about Sheffield. Sheffield has to get a win at some point. I mean,
yeah.
surely, like,
I mean they were so
surely they're not
impressive
going
last
to.
season.
No, but surely they're not going to be as bad as Derby in that season where Derby only got 12 points. And you
Yeah.
know what? I was getting so much slander at the start of the season. I said, even though Sheffield finished sixth or fifth or whatever, I
Uh-huh.
said Sheffield, I said Sheffield would get relegated, even after their
Yeah.
phenomenal season. Because
It's
I
the
think
second
the
season
last
syndrome.
season was a one-time season. I mean, if you look at their
Yeah.
squad, no squad depth, no attacking threat whatsoever. So
Yeah.
yeah, come on,
But
Gylfi Sigurdsson from the free kick, the former Yid, do the job. Come on.
um
Oh, he almost did. What a save. So yeah.
But so yeah, I mean, at the end of this weekend, we could somewhat realistically be in the top three again. Uh, so I mean,
And
if
what's annoyed me a lot, obviously you never know with Spurs, but we were top, and there's a lot of these memes that we went from top to sixth in like less than a week, and like
yeah,
people are saying we went from title challenges for hardly challenging for top four, but that's just
mhm.
utter crap. Crap. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
come
mean,
on,
people made the same meme. They were
it's
like
so
earlier this
close.
season when we were beating West Ham, and then we ended up drawing. Of course, that was horrible. I mean, not a good result at all. And they're like, "Oh, Spurs were in the title race faster, or yeah, Spurs were out of the title race faster than enter something fast." Um, but and then it's happening again. I mean, yes, we're 6 points off the top, but I mean, we're still in maybe not the title race right now. We're not in the title race, but we can still build our way back up there. I mean, if you look at our next,
I'm confident we're top four this season.
if you look at our run of games, we have Wolves, and should we beat them, then we'll have Fulham after that, who are not doing well this season, Leeds, who aren't doing well this season, Aston Villa, who aren't doing well this season, and then Sheffield, who aren't doing well this season. Or Aston Villa is doing pretty well, I guess. And then after that, we have Liverpool again, and then if we beat Liverpool, we're back in it. And then
Oh,
Liverpool has
yeah.
I feel like they have a few good teams after this. They have Southampton, who's been doing pretty well, and then they have Man United, and then they have us. So they could very well drop a few points.
Very
Um,
interesting. But hear me out about like the games that we have. Wolves,
mhm.
I think we'll beat Wolves. Last season we were unfortunate when we lost 3-2 that comeback. But
Yeah,
this season we're much more composed in defence. And I can't really see anyone scoring like 3 goals against us for the rest of the season. I
yeah,
know that our last few games have been, but the Leicester goals, yes, the one that should have been a goal was offside. But the
yeah,
penalty should have never existed. I haven't talked
yeah.
about
It
this.
was a lapse in concentration from Aurier.
Understand how I know I'm not saying that Aurier didn't make a mistake, but why is no one talking about how it said +1 minute? Maybe it was just a mistake by
Yeah,
the scoreboard
that's what I've been talking
person.
about as well. Is why was it was like the 47th minute when the foul was committed. So I'm like,
It was like four
why?
4 minutes added, and it was
Mhm.
one like why would he do that?
Okay, so actually, so this is what I've been talking about, or I haven't been talking about it. I noticed it was uh it was the 46th minute, so the game should have been called when and we won the ball in our box and we were progressing up, and I was like, oh, they're gonna call the game, and then they let it run. I was like, okay, maybe we'll get a chance to like get one before the break here, and then we lose the ball, and then they counter, and then I'm thinking, okay, they're gonna call it now, and then they let the game run, and I'm like, why are they letting the game run? And then they get into our box, it bounces, Aurier, I don't remember who it was, but he runs through a Leicester player in the box, they get a penalty, they score, but I was just so surprised. I was like, why didn't they call the half? They let it
Makes no
run
sense.
longer than they should
For
have.
me, I know maybe this is over exaggerating, but for me this is worse than Man U scoring that goal after the final whistle was
Okay,
blown.
it's not
Because
worse, but
no, but that was still in the added time. The penalty
yeah.
was a penalty, and it was given in the last second of the game. This was 3 minutes added on for absolutely no reason. It's something out of FIFA or something. I've never seen that in real
Yeah.
life. Um, but yeah, let's go off that. So I was talking about our next few games.
Yeah.
So yeah, Wolves. I'm confident against Wolves.
Then we have Fulham.
And then Fulham, they have been in better form recently, but I think we always get the job done against them.
Hmm.
Um,
I mean,
and
but better
then
form for them is
interesting
they've tied
game.
their
I
last three
think
games.
the most
So
interesting game will be against Leeds. Obviously, they play phenomenal
yeah.
football. Master tactician Marcelo Bielsa against Jose. One of them plays super attacking football. One of them defensive. It's going to be very interesting, but I think we'll
Hmm.
capitalize on the counter against their weak defense
Yeah.
and win.
I mean,
And
looking at
then
their last
Aston
two games,
Villa is going to be
there's been
very
15
challenging.
goals
You know,
in their last
I
two
think
games.
we'll actually draw with Aston Villa. I want to say
You
we
think so?
won't, but I mean, I just can't see us winning all those games because all of them are pretty tricky. So I
Hmm.
don't know. I just don't know if we'll beat Aston Villa.
Aston Villa's tricky as
Um,
well because if they win their two games in hand, they go in front of us in the table, or if they win one and draw one. So we do need them to not be able to pick up points.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. But
and then
everyone's no. One thing that I find very interesting. Everyone's saying we're out of the title race. We're on the same points as Chelsea in the same game with the same
yeah,
number of games, and
hmm
people are not saying that for them.
no,
I mean, Also, let's just take a moment to laugh at Werner.
Okay, people have been trying to slander me for like the player Spurs thought they signed, and there was a picture of like Bale against Inter Milan, and then who Spurs actually signed, and then it was like it's like a picture of like Clinton Nagy or something. Um, and then but then people are like, oh, Werner, he's so good, like, oh, he just needs to prove himself. The man's missed more open goals than Eric Lamela did in his debut season. Like,
No, I'm sorry. The man has literally. I've never seen something like this. This is worse than Fernando Torres. I don't care. His stats are not that bad, and I know he's playing as a winger, and his stats aren't that bad. You know, he's got like 8
he got 4 goals
goals
and 4
in,
assists
yeah, in the Prem, but in all
in the Prem. Yeah.
competition, he's got like 8. But
Mm-hmm.
that's not the point. The point is, even if you're playing as a winger, I mean, how do you miss those sitters? I mean, some of them.
Yeah.
I mean, once he
I
even
mean,
played it off his own line, Choupo-Moting style. I mean, what is going on?
yeah. True, I think so.
And
But it's also
Havertz,
worth
I mean,
noting,
he's an even worse flop right now for me.
yeah,
He's just not really done anything. 80
he hasn't
million for that
he
goal.
hasn't scored since November 7th.
And that was
So
against
Sheffield,
Barnsley, wasn't it?
Sheffield United.
Oh, yeah, but before that, he scored a hat trick against Barnsley.
Yeah. Wait, did he? No, he didn't score. He didn't actually play in that Barnsley game. You're thinking of Havertz, who scored the hat trick against Barnsley.
Well, yeah, and talking about Havertz, yeah.
He's also flopped.
Yeah, he's really flopped. But yeah, let's not talk about Chelsea.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've discussed everything. Do you want to do the predicted lineups, or
um, I don't think we have to
I
run
don't
through the
really
whole
see the
lineup.
point because we don't know who's up, who's injured, and who isn't. So
Yeah. I think like just
let's just do
who I want
score
to see.
predictions.
Yeah, let's do score predictions. I'm gonna go with a 2-1 win to Spurs. I don't think we're gonna be getting back to the clean sheets until we play like a Fulham. So yeah, I'm gonna go 2-1, Harry Kane goal, and I'm tempted to say Bergwijn's
I'm
gonna
going to
score, but I'm
go
not sure
for
if
a
he's gonna
very
start.
interesting result here. I'm going to go at one of the games of the season, 4-3 for Tottenham,
Well,
and I can just a very energetic game. Both teams coming at each other. I know that's not very positive for us to let 3 goals in, but you know you never know against Wolves.
didn't you say like
And
5 minutes ago that you didn't see another team scoring 3 goals against us for the rest of the season?
oh, oh God. Okay, well, just for this game then.
Just for this game.
There's just something about Wolves. I just want it to be a very good game, and I think
Yeah.
both teams will be keep coming at each other. And yeah, a hard fought win, but a deserved one. And yeah, 4-3.
Sounds good to me. And any last things you want to say before we end the pod?
Not really. I think we discussed a lot.
Yeah, we did. Thank you so much for listening. This has been another episode of the Hotspur House. If you want your comment to be reviewed on the podcast, then just follow the Hotspur House on Instagram, and you'll be able to leave your comments on the post we make there. Thank you so much for listening. You can find us on YouTube as well. We'll be making some videos shortly. We have some videos on the channel as well. So drop a subscription and like all those videos. Check them out. And thank you so much. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.